Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with Trae.
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peace that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get to welcome you to another jam-packed episode because I'm excited. I'm going to get into some great conversation with my guest today, y'all. We got Philip Sharp Skills Jacobs in the building. Philip is going to be talking all things about the residency he got in Tacoma. He got a new book and a new release, y'all. I'm talking about that music thing because he do that. So I'm so excited that he's here joining me today. But of course, this is the top of the show. I'm glad you're also joining me. This is the best time for you to help us grow. Just share the show with others who you feel could benefit from our daily dose of dopeness that we work to give you here on The Day with Trae. Of course, if you can't watch us, you can always just listen to us too. Anywhere you find your favorite podcast, search Converge Media Network, and we'll be right there for you. Okay, before I get into it with Philip here, I got to tell y'all that I have been talking about how we support local art here in the city and beyond. You know, the Pacific Northwest has this unique effect about how we pull shows together, how artists work together to make things happen here, and it's a beautiful thing. It's funny because sometimes you don't realize how beautiful it is until you go somewhere else. And then you realize like, oh, it's like everybody for themselves over there. Well, we've done some unique things here with some artist collectives who are constantly pushing out dope shows, exhibits, whether it's music, visual art, performative art. There are so many things that are happening that it's a beautiful thing. So I tell you now, I get invited to a lot of stuff and I'm so grateful. Y'all know I am. And I realize like, I got competing priorities because I want to support everyone. However, it is so serious that when people talk about there's nothing to do here, I disagree. I want to put that myth to bed, y'all, because there are so many great things to do when you get tapped in. This is why I'm always talking about tapping in with community, because you will not be bored when you are a part of the whole thing that's happening around you, right? Like, get plugged in, be a part of it. So I'm just sharing another message about how we need to support our local artists, collectives, our local artists here. There's a lot of venues who are working to do that. And I want to give a shout out to Fifth Avenue Theater, because one of the things that they really work to do is for the shows that are being produced locally, they really work to amplify and put the amazing talent we have here front and center on that stage. And it's a beautiful thing to see with their productions. I know others have shows that come here, so they already have a built-in cast, but anytime they have roles that can be locally placed, I know that there are people behind the scenes and making that happen. And I want to thank all of y'all because you are giving artists life here. I appreciate the work you do because it is so essential to the vibrancy of our experience as a community. So shout out to everybody who works behind the scenes. Shout out to all the artists out there, whatever form of art you have. I don't even care if it's a healing art. I just know that there is some dope stuff happening, and I want to give you your kudos today. Well, after this short break, we got another artist in the building, y'all. Philip Sharp Skills Jacobs is here. Philip's going to be talking all things the residency, his album release, and, of course, his new book release. I'm excited. So y'all definitely are going to get it right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae. Discover the raw, essential story of Northwest modernism through the Seattle Art Museum's Beyond Mysticism. This exhibition features over 150 pieces celebrating the region's natural beauty and urban life. Get your tickets today at seattleartmuseum.org. We'll see you there.
This May, Seattle Opera presents the return of Bizet's celebrated classic, Carmen. A mesmerizing story of obsession, Dazzling sets, elaborate costumes, and iconic melodies make Carmen irresistible. Don't miss Carmen, May 2nd through 17th at McCaw Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now, we got Philip in the building. What's up, Philip?
What's going on, Trae? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again, man.
Good to be seen.
You be on the move, brother. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, man, we got to put in work, you know? It's hard out here. We gotta do everything, all irons in the fire.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have been doing so many things where you're taking your writing skills not only in the music world, but to authorship. Mm-hmm. You have several books now. We're going to be talking about your new one soon. Yep. And you've kept up with your artistry as a musician as well. And so I want to talk a little bit about this first thing, because when you think about how it all comes together, share your background that made you say, you know what, I got these multiple skills and I'm going to activate all of them. Tell us a little bit about that.
I think it's just a natural progression. Like when you've been doing something so long and you're spinning one plate, you figure that you can start spinning other plates. And also just, you know, to keep from getting bored, I think it makes it interesting to go from, you know, being solely one thing as a hip hop artist and a rapper to then being able to see how that connects to also being able to write, you know, books and screenplays, or, you know, just a natural progression. So for me, that's really what it is I spent a lot of time coming up as a hip hop artist and then opening my mind up to other opportunities, whether that was seeing other members of my family, i.e. my mother, my aunt, release books, and seeing that is a potential, avenue. I was about to say revenue as well, but avenue to pursue, acting and things of that nature, to creating a board game. All of it kind of follows a similar flow of creativity. You know, it's just having the discipline to see it through.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think when you have a burst of creativity in a way like that, and I don't mean burst as in like one verse, but it's all contained within you. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful because there's so many different ways to explore it. And some, folks are always asking me, girl, what don't you do, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I have a similar take on this, where it's like, it's all coming from the same source. And if I was blessed and gifted enough to like do something, then I want to do something with it, right? Like 100%. I want to do something with it. Yep. So I want to talk about this book first. All right. So this is Gladiator. Now you got to tell us what made you need to write this one. What is this one about?
So Gladiator is a book about where I pretty much tell stories about different characters. It's a fiction book, but it's about real life stories about people going through some of the most difficult challenges in life: divorce, sickness, financial setbacks, even newfound success, because that brings about its own level of trauma if you're not prepared for it, right? So essentially, I felt like telling these in kind of like a parable form helps people really digest the messages so that they can get the lessons, because there is just a power in storytelling. And that's really how we learn the most as humans, is through storytelling. So I've kind of been on this kick between my last book, which was Elephant in the Room, a racial equity book, to this book, being able to talk about these hard truths in a way that gives people perspective about some of their most difficult life challenges. Mm-hmm. And really, it's just coming out of my own experiences and things that I've also seen other people witness, where it's like, dang, we kind of all going through the same thing or something similar, So this is really a contribution to help people navigate those challenges and, really become their best self.
Wow. I love this concept of parable form, helping people understand these concepts even more. So it's a great take on doing something that is it is a universal experience.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So many of us are having. I don't know if it's just about like the way the world is, because I think there's so many different like touch points to bring it all together. But I love that you described it that way. Mm-hmm. Now, a book carries its own journey to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. How do you see this book really resonating with people, so that they're telling more people, so that more people are able to receive the messages you put here?
I think because it is so universal in terms of the things that people are dealing with. Specifically, let's talk about like divorce. I think probably majority of everybody has either been connected to somebody that's been divorced or gone through a divorce themselves or on the brink. I don't know. But I think the themes in the book are so native to what we experience as humans, you know, financial setbacks, sickness, dealing with fake friends, dealing with feeling overwhelmed or procrastination, things of that nature that are just kind of baked into the human experience that I think anybody can find themselves in this book at any given point in time. And I think from that, they're able to take those lessons and then apply them. And I think naturally people will begin to talk about that because it's just like, wow, somebody actually went there in this book. And it's interesting too, because I remember I had a professor in college who said that what's obvious to you is obvious to you. And I used to think that, oh, this is just common knowledge for some of the things that you might deal with. And yes, that's true to a degree. But when you talk about things, people are like, wow, that was actually something that really resonated with me that I needed to hear. And to me, it'll be like something basic, you know, but it's something that in the moment, somebody really needed. And so when I share my story and I talk about my own struggles and, you know, hardships, challenges, things of that nature, I would begin to see people gravitate more to that. Again, me thinking that it's just kind of basic, right? But people, I think, needing to hear somebody share their truth in an authentic way. And that's what's really baked into the book. So I think that that's what will give folks the desire to read it, but two, to also make it something sticky where you'll want to go back to it and spread it with your people.
Yeah, it's a great way of putting it. You know, and it's interesting too, because you're absolutely right about that. You know, my mom would say, common sense ain't common.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of concept, right? Where it's like, you know, and this is why even for me, there's things that resonate with me in terms of, you know, recognizing that something is a skill. Because like when it does come easy to you, you go, oh, well then like anyone can like do this, right?
Yep.
So it's the same kind of thing. So I really appreciate that you have those concepts here in the book. Of course, I want to talk about, you know, you got a new single out too.
Yeah.
You've been busy in the studio as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about this new single.
Yeah, so the new single, The City of Destiny, featuring Tara Chug, is going to be coming out April 17th, so this upcoming Friday. But The City of Destiny is also it's a name that Tacoma is referred by or known for, is the City of Destiny. And so I've been living in the Tacoma, Pierce County area for like almost the last decade. And so the City of Destiny is just, for me, destiny has always been a very powerful word and a word that's always resonated with me. I have a song that I put out several years ago that me and Eric, we have a mutual a friend, Eloquent, who produced it, called Fader Destiny, which I put out in 2007. So not that I was even intentionally trying to do City of Destiny with that, but I just look at how life is a full circle. So now you go from Fader Destiny to the City of Destiny, my own experiences within the city and just who I've become and matured as a man, as an artist, to be able to put that into this song at this time. And it is the precursor to my album. My new album is going to be called Port of Tacoma, which will be coming out June 26th. Wow. So it's just kind of the momentum and the flow of that. And I've really been blessed and fortunate by my experiences in Tacoma, the people that I've been able to meet and build relationship and be in community with. And so it's really just, you know, a nod to the city and to the people. And also just realizing, like, you know, when you get planted somewhere, just honoring that. And then I just thought it was dope because you think of artists like Rick Ross, you got the Port of Miami, you got Larry June, the Port of San Francisco. I'm like, we need a Port of Tacoma, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of building on that tradition as well.
Well, it's also a busy port.
It is. Yeah.
You know, I know the Port of Seattle is highly ranked across the nation in terms of, you know, busyness and you know, commerce, import and export coming through the port. So I love this Port of Tacoma concept. Tell us a bit about how you explore the themes of your growth in the song. What are some of those lyrics that really kind of showcase a lot of what you're describing?
So like my opening, well, it's one long verse, but I talk about how I feel my soul. The opening, it almost feels like spoken word in the beginning, but it's like I feel my soul rising, I feel my goals rising, I feel my focus rising. It's the perfect timing. I'm fully in alignment, and I think that that's the point that I've gotten to as an artist. And then also when I look at it just as a man, as a person, when you start looking at all of the different experiences in your life and the character that's been shaped by those experiences, I think the term is called confluence, when all of those different things kind of come together. And so that's what I felt like when I heard the beat. And what's funny is, this is going to sound crazy, I don't think that this is the time on the actual song now, but when I first got the beat, the time on the song was 2 minutes and 53 seconds, which is 253.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, come on.
Area
like, you
code
can't,
for Tacoma.
Yeah. So it's like all of that means something to me. And so when I think about what does it mean to be in the city of destiny, and I feel like there's like this renaissance happening in Tacoma from a music standpoint, from a business standpoint, and just from an awareness standpoint of what Tacoma is, what it represents to the region and in the region. And so I feel like all of that connected to my own personal journey is all kind of happening at the same time. And I've been here at one point before in my career where I felt like there was like this renaissance happening that I got to be a part of. And this was like around 2006, 2007. Where there was just a lot of energy. Around this time, I was heavy in the Seattle music scene, specifically like the Christian gospel rap scene. But the music scene at large, there was just like artists and all of this energy around what was going on musically. You had Sport and Life Records back then that was heavy. Nima, who I think at the time had sold like 100,000 records independently or something like that, and Chop Suey was doing this thing, and I wanted to do a show at Chop Suey so bad. Like all of that energy was happening at that time, so that was a time of confluence back then. And I'm like, man, I'm not missing this wave this time. You know, I'm knowing what I'm seeing, I'm feeling the vibe, and I position myself sometimes unknowingly, but when you're doing the work, you just realize like, man, I'm well positioned to be a part of this, to be on the forefront of what this movement is right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm privileged and I'm honored that, you know, the Creator has let me have the longevity that I have with music, to maintain the passion at 41 years young, to still want to do this and still want to be great at it and put in the effort and the expertise and the knowledge, and also share that with upcoming artists and others in the region. I just feel like it's a great time. So I think all of that combined equates to like that city of destiny type of record right now.
Wow. No, it's I love that exploration of the themes, and the word confluence holds so much weight when you experience it. It's interesting because when you don't experience it, it seems like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Until it's like, oh, this is it. That makes so much sense. Or through my experience, I get it even more now, right?
And it's hard. You can't manufacture that.
That's right.
It's like you got to be in position at the right time, the right place. So I was like, my younger me took it for granted because I'm thinking, oh, I'm hot. Like, you know, my music popping, I'm part of it. Nah, it was a whole ecosystem around you too. So now I'm like, there's the humility, but still the confidence, but it's recognizing that these moments come only so often. So you have to recognize it for what it is and be grateful for it and step into it with confidence. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to add that.
No, not at all. You didn't cut me off. I mean, because you're absolutely right. You are so right about it. I always think about it in terms of divine design, because for me, I probably said this so many times on this show, but I see life as a spider web, and very like intrigued by spider webs because if you watch a spider weave a web, there's all of these connection points but they are specific. They're purposeful, right? For the spider as it's doing it. And where I live, it's so interesting because these spiders will build these webs across bushes. But what I love about it is it reminds me of what divine design really is. Like, as you know, the creator is creating this life for you in this vessel. There's all of these touch points that you have along the way that are those lines connecting, like in a web. And I love the concept, because that is essentially, for me, when the lines are connecting around you at a very specific time. That's what confluence is for me, like visually speaking, right? So I appreciate the term and you making it real in terms of what you're experiencing right now too. But the growth is important as well. And you know, to bring all of these things together, I mean, now you've been in the booth, you've been writing, right, at your desk or wherever you do that, right? And you now have Tacoma's first hip hop residency called the Rebel Residency. This is a big deal, right? Because when you talk about the first of something, it means that you're establishing what this looks like and could look like for other folks, other artists moving forward. Tell us a bit about how this came to be and what it actually is.
Yeah, so a lot of it just formed organically, like really taking the concept of a residency in Las Vegas. Like we were talking about off camera, like Jeezy has a residency there, or Celine Dion, Bruno Mars, right, in Vegas. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of create a similar experience at the level that I could with the resources that I have, where there's a recurring high level show, but connected directly to hip hop, rooted in hip hop, because that's a void that I saw. And it's interesting because when I would just sit back and think about it, I'm like, okay, you go to a lot of these venues and there might be like hip hop music playing somewhere, but you don't see like hip hop like on the stage from the standpoint of like a high level at a local level. Like we import a lot of hip hop out here to the Pacific Northwest. Like we'll go see Kendrick, we'll go see Big Sean, we'll go see Wale, we'll go to, you know, but when it comes to like kind of our own, and this is not to point no fingers or throw no shade, but it's like the venues that I've been to where I've seen hip hop on stage is usually like coffee shops, mom and pop shops, things of that nature, where it's like a little small makeshift stage, and folks can correct me if I'm wrong, right? I'm open to being corrected. But from my experience, I'm like, how is anybody gonna take hip hop here seriously if they're not seeing it on these larger stages, professional sound stages? And some of this stem from, there's a very popular hip hop artist, I'm not gonna name them just cause I don't like just throwing names out there, but if I put the name out there, you would know. This particular artist, when they came to Washington, they were talking, pretty much asking like, where the art, like where the hip hop, the lyricists at, you know? And a lot of local rappers got offended by that because he didn't know, you know? And so I looked at it as a challenge in a way, like something like to be productive about, okay, well, let's change that narrative then. Let's start elevating our scene. And I'm not saying I can do that all by myself, but this is part of my contribution to that, to say, I'm gonna take my own money out my pocket. I'm gonna book the venue. I'm gonna assemble the band. I'm gonna assemble the talent. I'm also gonna headline my own show with my own original music, curate the whole experience. Everybody's getting paid. And let's see where we at the end of this 4-show run. And it's not saying like it's just gonna blow up overnight or nothing like that, but I think it adds momentum. And I think at least in Tacoma, it creates a standard now where there's like a high level of expectation when you go to a hip hop show. And hopefully other artists that see that, they're like, nah, bro, we need this type of stage. We need cordless mics. We need the DJ area. We probably need to get a live band now. We got to up the ante. We need visuals behind us. That's the level that I think that if we can do that consistently enough, we can bust through that, whatever that perceived ceiling is that has us kind of in this, our own microcosm where people outside the region don't necessarily know who we are. Because there's too much talent out here, you know, and there's too much ambition. And I think it's only a matter of time. I mean, of course, you have your, Sir Mix-a-Lots, your Macklemores, and there's a list of other artists that we can name. But in terms of just like that imprint, like when somebody come out here, like if I go to Chicago, I can think of top 5 rappers in Chicago. You go to New York, top 5, LA, top 5, Atlanta, top 5. So it's like, okay, let's start to establish that same energy here, where when you think of Tacoma, you think of Seattle, Pacific Northwest hip hop. At least you know now, like, okay, there's some people that I can point to, you know. So that's the idea. But the other side of it is, again, kind of establishing hip hop more as an institution, because I think that's part of the reason it might not necessarily. I don't think it's intentional disrespect. Maybe it's more so like just being overlooked. But I think if you can plant that flag down, like we got a residency now, that hopefully will position it in a way for other venues to take it a little bit more serious when they're like, okay, let's book artists, let's pay them decently, you know, let's look at really making hip hop the staple that it is, because we run stuff, like we run culture. And I don't care if we ain't in the top 100 or whatever the little stats are now, but if you look at mainstream culture, our fingerprint, hip hop's fingerprint is all over that. Yeah. I'm gonna stop there. You see, I'm passionate.
I love this. I'm like, keep going, because you know what? You're absolutely right. And I have these conversations all the time, and it's my purview. I realize that I'm privileged in certain ways where I'm just connected in ways that I understand that the connection and artistry, and we have it here.
Yes.
But it really is one of those things where I'm like, it hasn't hit big, and there's a reason why it hasn't hit big. Yeah. So I love being able to explore avenues like a residency, saying, now there is a show you can come to.
Right.
This show is happening multiple times in a year or whatever, so you can see it. If you miss that time, just come another time.
Yep,
so I love the idea of this. I gotta ask about the city of Tacoma saying, you know what, sure, like, you got the money, we're gonna, like, was it just you going, I want to use this venue in Tacoma, and so I can say this is the first ever residency?
It's the latter.
Yeah.
And I'm working on that. I'm working on hopefully making that connective point with the city, and I think that there's some things in the works there. But really, it was me. It's at Edison Square on South Tacoma Way, so I have a relationship there because some of the community work that I'm doing. So they were receptive to the idea of doing the show. And it evolved. At first, it started with just like, let me do one show. But then it turned into like, well, what if you did more? And I was like, oh, okay. Well, then we can group that into a residency. So that's kind of how that came about. Yeah. So yeah, it's me booking the venue and all of that stuff, insurance. I'm not gonna get into all the nitty gritty of it, but yeah.
But it's also another platform for other artists, is what you're also saying. I mean, because you're talking about booking talent.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, musicians, artists, other folks are involved.
Man, when I look back at it, the last show we did, we had about 12 people that were a part of like bringing it together, from musicians. So I have a 4-piece band that I do every show with. I have a DJ, and then 2 other artists. My anchor artist has been Shakia. I'm not sure if y'all familiar, but probably one of the rawest MCs in the country, not even the state. But she has like essentially been my counterpart. I don't even know if she knows that, but I've been intentional about having her pretty much on every show. So she'll be on this upcoming show as well. We got BP Parker going to be at the next one, June 27th. We've had Juma Black out of Portland. Rob Young, Sassy the Cat was at the last show. So we've got, I'm always looking like, who are the elite artists that I feel that would bring something to this show and keep elevating it, so that, you know, they just know, man, like, we not to be played with out here. Like, don't, you know, again, no, it's just that competitive energy, you know.
We out here, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, you did not invite me to the residency. So
I did. Yes, I did.
Oh, you did.
Yes,
I was out of town.
Look, don't do that.
Okay, so I didn't know Rob was there, and I didn't know BP Parker was going to be there. I would love to be there in June.
We need you there. We need you,
but
for sure.
I got to say, just kudos to you for having the vision.
Thank you.
Because, to be honest, it takes that in a city like this, in an area like this, right?
Sure.
A region where there isn't any one, it's not this one pathway.
Right.
So we have to kind of carve it out for ourselves.
1,000%.
And it requires innovative thinkers to say, this is maybe how we can do this. Because now I can envision the success of this means, okay, what does it look like in other cities? Or how do we support this so it's even bigger, it's more shows, right? So I really appreciate you for having the wherewithal to say, we need to do this in a way that really permeates. Because I'm with you 100%. And I'm sorry I couldn't make it because you're right. You invited me.
We got 2 more.
I'm looking forward to coming, man, because you're doing great work.
Thank you.
And it needs to be uplifted. Of course, if folks are trying to get plugged in, trying to stay following you, stay connected, look right there, let them know.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the greatest ways is on Instagram. So you can follow me at The Sharp Skills. You can also follow the Rebel Residency on Instagram, and you can go to my website, rebelfirm.com. That's going to give you all the information about the upcoming shows. Right now, the next show is going to be June 27th, and that's going to be at Edison Square on South Tacoma Way. We got BP Parker, Shakia. We got the live band, the DJ going to be there. So you can get your tickets now. If you visit my Instagram, we got the link right on there where you can buy your tickets. And just stay, like Trae says, just stay tapped in, because we're going to keep doing this until we get to the last show in September. And then we'll recalibrate and see where we want to take it from there. The next thing, for me, it has to be bigger, for it to make sense. So we are looking for great partners to work with to take this thing even bigger and hopefully spread it to more cities. Would love to do a residency in Seattle too. Yeah. So all of that is up in the air right now for sure.
And where can they get the book?
They can get the book from rebelfirm.com. Nice. So from my company website, Rebel Firm is my company. It is a heroically creative consultancy and production company. So even outside of putting on events and publishing books and all of that stuff, I am a consultant. I'm a certified project manager, and I help organizations build their cultures and create environments to cultivate better performance. So that's the real bread and butter that helps, fund a lot of this stuff.
Wow. Well, kudos to you for funneling it into deeper passions you have.
Thank you.
For being able to have one company that can house it all. You're doing a lot, but it's great stuff.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you were here.
I'm glad to be here. This is always an honor and a privilege.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for sharing all this work with us. Anytime you got stuff going on, just come on back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will.
Y'all, wow. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Somebody who has their fingers on the pulse, y'all. Multiple pulses, clearly. But it's all in one effort. I get to wrap it all up after this break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
This May, Seattle Opera presents Carmen. Iconic melodies make Carmen irresistible. Don't miss Carmen, May 2nd through 17th at McCaw Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Huge shout out to Philip Sharp Skills Jacobs in the building, y'all. We're talking about a new single, a new book, the Rebel Residency, so many things happening. But again, another inspiring story for you to know, hey, you can try doing your passion as well. Get yourself out there. I was going to say, put your toes in this water. Get all the way into it, because we need your brilliance out here. He's doing a ton of things just to show you that all you got to do is put your mind to it. Yeah, in some cases, it's some financing, it's some investment. But if you have it and you know you want to do something, figure it out. If you need it, find those partners to make it happen. But don't just sit around with great ideas in your head, not doing them. So this is another inspiring story. I want all of you to be inspired. Of course, you have a place as a part of the solution, just like he just showed us today, y'all. So make sure that you follow him on Instagram. Get tapped in with all the great things he has going on. If you need that extra inspiration, come to the show. He has a couple shows left. Y'all want to make sure you get your tickets today to the Rebel Residency. Experience this local artistry we have that is top tier, y'all. We definitely have it. So I'm so glad y'all were joining me today to watch all of that and to hear the inspiration that I just heard, because I know I'm fired up. I hope y'all are too. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time, y'all. Until then, peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.